My name is Chelsea Sumter. For a long time though, I went by inmate Sumter 877383.
To get a better understanding of the person I am today, I have to begin with the person I was back then. A victim, if you will, suffering from the chains of addiction. It takes no prisoners, and especially in my case, it caused me to overlook the importance of the real things in life.
I grew up in Southern California, so I've always thought of myself as being from California, but because I've done so much time at the women's prison, 25 years, I feel like naturally now it's like I'm from Washington, but not the state of Washington, from the prison of Washington.
There were some things that happened when I was a very young girl that I didn't remember until I got a little bit older, and when I started questioning about those things, it brought up a lot of family secrets that were pushed underneath the rug, and it made me feel like I was victimized all over again. And so I learned how to stuff secrets and hide my demons, and learned how to not have a voice at a very young age. And it eventually led me into a crowd of people that I could have my voice, I could be myself, anything went with them. And I started using drugs, and by 13 I was basically not a ward of the state, but I was put on a youth at risk contract where my parents were no longer held accountable for my actions.
I mean, I was born in addiction, been in addiction for 40 years. This is the first time in a long time that I've had this much clean time and been able to do the things that I'm doing now.
9 months ago, I had been living on the streets with a heroin and drug meth addiction, and basically lost all will to live. Like, I just had lost everything, you know what I mean? And I had come to a place where it was like I just didn't want to live anymore. I thought that that was my life, and I'd accepted it. I couldn't see a way out. Like, I thought that that was what my life was going to be.
By the time I was 15, I was arrested for a robbery that had gone wrong and ended in the life of a man's life. I was sent to prison for 50 years and thought I was never going to be released. I had a lot of challenges and struggles growing up inside of the prison as a juvenile, and it took a lot of determination and self-will on my part to find who I was and what I wanted to be in that toxic environment.
My journey with the IF Project started over 10 years ago. It was brought to the attention of me by an inmate who asked me a question, if I'd be willing to write a letter about my life for a detective who was trying to make a difference. My first response to her, a detective? I don't associate with cops. Thanks, but no thanks.
I first heard about the IF Project through, I believe it was a bulletin that I'd seen on the resource board that they have in the day room. And it just basically kind of had the rundown of, you know, what if, had the question, and I was like, well, what is that all about, you know what I mean?
I first started hearing about the IF Project around 2014. A few of my friends in the prison started getting involved with the program, and I could see how it was starting to positively impact their lives. But honestly, when I first started getting involved in the program, I thought it was just gonna be like every re-entry or self-help program I had taken there. And I was really skeptical.
My roommate suggested the IF Project, and that was where I was first introduced. I had met Brittany from the IF Project. We did a one-on-one. She told me that they could help with multiple things, and she suggested the opiate reentry program.
I recognized right away the differences in simple things like how they talk to us and how they take the time to specifically identify and help us identify what our issues and anxieties are, especially around reentry.
One of the most helpful programs was the mentoring program. They matched me with this amazing lady named Tara Jensen. We immediately connected, and we had a lot of things in common. She was extremely helpful for me. The first question I remember that she asked me was just, how are you doing? And that meant so much to me because it's one of the first times that I was able to actually talk to somebody who I felt had my best interest in mind.
I feel like the facilitators were a lot more compassionate and more understanding, and they just made the space like hella comfortable. I mean, Amber Flame was just very, just like warm, you know what I mean? Like you walked in there and it wasn't like you weren't in a class, you were sitting down like, hey, what's up you guys, how's it going, you know what I mean? And they were really down to earth with us. So I mean, like their personal connection with us was important.
It took me a minute to figure it all out, like get the license and school and all of that, but I'm starting school in a week for my BA in political science at Evergreen. And there's an internship that they offer there that will be offered next quarter to work with the state capitol senators. So that's really exciting for me.
Right now, I'm living in a transitional home. It's called New Connections in Tacoma. I'm the residential manager intern over there. So I'm helping the girls just kind of acclimate themselves to living out with their life. You know, trying to get them started on like getting a job, doing resumes, kind of stuff like what Reprep kind of did with us.
Now, yeah, I'm working full time. I see my kids once a week. Got my driver's license. I do a lot of NA 12-step meetings a week. Try to give back as much as I can. Yeah, I'm like actually just a productive member of society now, like, which is amazing. 'Cause never thought that would happen.
Well, right now I went from being a chef and working 60 hours a week to a stay-at-home mama. And during that, I decided, you know, I have all these skills and I have a desire to, I don't know how to put it, please others. Like when I serve people my food and they enjoy it, that brings me joy. And I have a helping heart, whether it's through speaking, whether it's through cooking, whatever it is. So why not use that and combine it into getting my business license to start a catering business?
I feel like it's important for me to give my voice to the issues of mass incarceration and to get people who don't have any relation to prison to understand what the consequences are of taking an individual and putting them away for life. And it's a waste of taxpayers' money, it's a waste of a life, it's a waste of things that can be utilized in society and in the community.
The IF Project is a reentry program that breaks down barriers.
They helped me get my life back together.
I consider myself really lucky in the state of Washington to have the support that IF gives, because when I have the anxiety at home that I don't know how to get online and figure out how to do medical, I don't know how to get a doctor, I've never had to do that before, I'm able to call up staff at the IF office and they'll walk me through it, and it's just natural because we've already established a foundation with one another, so it's easy for me to be vulnerable with them and express my needs.
I love my IF bracelets. People ask me about them all the time, and because a lot of people don't know about it, and I wear one on each hand because I'm never gonna be in cuffs again. And this reminds me that I don't ever have to wear handcuffs again, and so I love that. I don't take them off.
Today, I'm no longer just inmate Sumter, number 877383. Today, I go by Chelsea.